Hello guys and girls, how's it going? Screwzilla here, and I hope you're all well this morning. It is currently, about 7 a.m. in the morning here. I've been up since 5 a.m. Hooray! So I took out what I consider to be the second worst ship at the moment, which is the Japanese destroyer, and today I'm going to take out the worst, the Soldati. The Soldati has two 120mm guns, well, technically 4 guns. The MS-74 has the Flak 38 cannon and a 20mm anti-aircraft gun, a Breda 65. Has some okay torpedoes, but that's about it. So let's start off with the Soldati. So you have the AP shell, you also have the HE shell. I generally recommend going with the AP shell. So let's take her out. Let's see how things are going with her. So the biggest problem with the Soldati is it was designed to be a fast, nimble, quick escort destroyer. It wasn't designed to take on destroyers in a gunfight. As you can see, it doesn't have the gunnery for it. Being that you only have the front and the rear turrets, it really does make things difficult for this ship. Now, the ship's main strength for this class was its lightweight and maneuverability. So that was its main sort of benefit, and that's what the Italians were going for with this ship, basically, is they were sort of looking at something that was fast, agile, and wouldn't really get into too much of a gunfight with anybody else, because it's not really going to win. Out on the sea, when you're fighting ships, guns are important. Of course, agility and speed are also up there. You know, it is important to have both of these aspects, because with speed and agility you can dodge and you can short there. Let's try range. Get another salvo off. With speed and agility you can dodge, you can sort of get around a little bit short there. But again, this ship didn't have great targeting systems. You know, it wasn't designed to take on, you know, a tribal class or a Fletcher. You know, it wasn't in that sort of design. It wasn't designed to take on the French heavy destroyers of the time. It was more of a escort, as I say. It was designed to escort other ships around, to be in a group of ships. It has a woeful anti-aircraft cover. It does have some, at least, but it is not the best out there. If we look at the anti-aircraft systems for this gun, we have 4 twin 20mm Breda guns, you know, and that's the anti-aircraft system. So you've only got the 20mm, so you've only got 6 anti-aircraft guns. So again, it's not an anti-aircraft destroyer. It's more of a light escort. As I say, it's not designed to go hunting these large ships, and it has a very slow reload time as well. This thing is just absolutely abysmal. We do get a good hit there on the front. Moth attacking me for no reason. You know, if we can not beach ourselves here, that would probably be a good idea too. The one thing this ship does have is good maneuverability, as I do say, but it's just not enough, unfortunately. We might get an ammo hit there. No, just a little bit high. Trying to see what that is. I think it's a Yugamo. Oh, just by that ammunition rack there, so we could have almost got a kill there. A little bit low. You know, it just really isn't designed to be in these situations. A little bit higher. That ship's going down though. We can see it's sinking. It's not lasting much longer. And I think it's gone down. So it was a... Oh no, it's still alive. God, that thing is surviving on well. There we go. It's finally gone down. The Yugomo has gone down. You know, and the Yugomo is... It suffers a lot because of those HE shells, you know, and that's one of the advantages of this ship, is you have got the armor-piercing rounds, which does give you a little bit of an advantage. Now, it does look like there's a sandbank through that channel there, so I'm not going to risk going through there. But as I say, with this boat, you do have the manoeuvrability, which does help a little bit. Now, we've got something behind us. I can't see exactly what it is because my smokestack's in the way. Which again is another problem because of the positioning of the gun tower on this ship. You do suffer because you can't really see behind you when you're at full steam. You know, this ship has got so many disadvantages. It has got okay torpedoes though. So if we look at the torpedoes, we've got the... Okay, it doesn't say there. We've got the steam turbine SI-270 torpedoes, and these steam turbine torpedoes are pretty good. They've got a pretty good lick of speed on them, but they're still not great. You know, they're not the best torpedoes out there. You know, the Japanese air-powered torpedoes tended to be a lot better because they have a better speed to them and a much better range as well. The gas system torpedoes, they work reasonably well, similar sort of system, but they're relatively slow, which is a problem with most torpedoes actually at the moment, is they do tend to be relatively slow.
Torpedo.
Oh, hello, torpedo. Plane just dropped that, I think. I do not know where that came from. Where did you come from, little torpedo? Anyway, it missed us, so that's the main thing. Try and get our guns on target with that guy who looks beached. But again, you can sort of see the issue you have with the gunnery on this boat is just woeful. So, you know, you just try and get those hits, and it just does not want to hit for you. We might be able to loop one over the island here. No, we're just a bit low. So now we're getting into the spawn of the PT boats once more. Problem that I've talked about many times. Something just blew up there. And you know, this is it. You know, I've now got, again, a destroyer into the spawn of the PT boats. You know, if somebody spawns in their PT boat right now, I am going to absolutely destroy them if I get a hit on them. Of course, that's if I get a hit on them. You know, chances are I won't actually get a hit. Now, I've got HE loaded here. Being lightly armoured, the HE rounds do relatively good damage to destroyers, but we will load up the AP rounds again, just because they have better velocity. It's just with being in this close, we want to have an HE round ready just in case a destroyer comes. He's turning away from us now, so we'll start turning up. Managed to take out the stern of the ship, so I managed to take out the back section of the boat. And we'll just keep an eye out, because we're basically just in their spawn. And again, look, there's no spawn protection like you have in ground RB. You know, the spawn protection just isn't there. Now we've got a couple of destroyers. I think we've got a Fletcher coming through here. And little bit further back, and we'll hit his ammunition. Ooh, just close again. Now our main gun's down, so we've lost our main gun, so our front turret's gone. And you know, this is the problem with this ship. It just, you know, you lose that turret, you're just down. You just have nothing you can use against a Fletcher. You know, the Fletcher just has too many guns on you. Being you only have a single turret, it really doesn't work for that Soldati. It's a terrible vehicle. But what I wanted to do today is take out this beast. Now, the thing about this ship, this plane, is it was designed to take out ships. I'm going to set maximum range on her as well. Now, the whole thing about this plane is the gun was designed for anti-shipping. The AP shells were designed to sink ships. Now, it's kind of hard because you've only got the solid AP shot with this. Or is it? Has that actually good? No, it has got an explosive mass, sorry. Yeah, so in theory this thing should be absolutely devastating if you get a ship. But the problem with it is you are such a big target, you basically just get absolutely bollocksed by the AAA. Now, in real life, this plane had a big old aiming system for the gunner, basically a tank aiming sight. Now, if we can hit his ammunition... Oh, that was very close. Pull that out here. If we can hit the ammunition with one of these shells, then we are absolutely going to decimate one of these ships. And this is what it was actually designed for. This thing is not a tank destroyer. It's not designed for tank hunting. This thing is designed for ship hunting, as I say. And it's nice that we can finally use it. But the trouble is, as you can see here, my tail is already gone. Because we have to fly so low to get anywhere, there's really nothing we can do. And we're dead. You know, it's very frustrating to take out this plane because it was designed to fly at about 2,000 feet with the gunner, you know, aiming the guns, of course. It's not going to work. They need to actually add that aiming system for it to actually bring it into effect. So last but not least, let's take out the MS-74. Panzer grenades or defragmentation, self-destruction. What do we want? Well, I think we're going to take out the Panzer grenade, the AP shell, just because we're going to be fighting ships mainly, not just planes. So let's see how we go in this. And as I say, this is one of the worst PT boats again. We've got a destroyer way off in the distance there, just down in our second spawn. Again, we've got a destroyer in the spawn, and as I was talking about earlier, that means that, you know, anyone that spawns there is pretty much dead instantly. Now, we do have the torpedoes to deal with it, possibly, if we get a chance to sneak around this island. But the thing is, this ship has such little crew. There's a crew of, what, we've got about 6-7 people on board. We've got a very low crew number, because this is not a big PT boat. You know, it's not designed for this sort of action. It was designed to take on ships at night. You know, you weren't really expected to be fighting destroyers in daylight, you know. Now we have got a bit of a rougher sea today, so that's good news. We can actually see the the wave effect in action. But as I said, looks like that Yugumo's just died, so that's good news. But as I say, I'm pretty sure there is a destroyer coming around, steaming around this island here. I'm going to launch a torpedo now, just in case we get lucky while he's steaming around. And I'm going to lay in wait, basically, and try and get this guy on a surprise. But this guy can sort of see me because his, obviously some shots are coming in from somewhere. I'm not sure where they're coming at. But his AI gunners, of course, can start shooting me past this island. And you can just see here, I'm sort of starting to get lit up already. You know, there we go. You know, I've been hit. I've got no cover here. And yeah, like, it's just nothing we could do. Now we do get a win here, obviously, but it's just, the Italian boats are just so bad. They really are the worst. Sorry, I just blanked out there for a second. But yeah, it just, there's no balance with the Italian ships, really. They just, you know, I finished dead last there. Got no kills, obviously. Got a couple of assists and got a few hits, of course. But the Italian ships really are underperforming. I wish I could sort of show you in this view the actual ships. I mean, we've only got this very brief look at them, but compared to the German and the American lines, there's no question who's more powerful. As last video with the Yugumo, you know, the Yugumo is not great because it only has the HE shell, but it's still a ton better than the bloody Soldati because it just has the guns. We need that, and as you saw in this game, actually, there was barely any PT boats around. I think I was possibly the only PT boat for a lot of that game. Everybody's just using destroyers because that's what people are having fun in. I honestly think Gaijin are going to announce soon that they're going to add cruisers, light cruisers, possibly frigates, corvettes, that sort of style of ship. We need an intermediate, you know, because it's almost like we've got destroyers and battleships at the moment. So your PT boat is your destroyer, and your destroyer is your battleship. Now, of course, either one can kill each other, but you've got more chance in a battleship of killing a destroyer than a destroyer has of killing a battleship. And with the PT boats, they're just too small and fragile to actually get those kills off. As you saw, I couldn't even use the island as cover there because those secondary guns, with the AI gunners, mind you, that was AI gunning, was shooting over the crest of that hill with ease at me. I wasn't that visible. I guess I could have smoke screened a bit, but you can't really sneak around and use that sort of tactical advantage. You might get the odd one, but it's very rare. It's very satisfying to take out a larger ship in one of the worst boats, but at the same time, it's very frustrating too. Back when it was just PT boats versus PT boats, yeah, there was a lot of problems, but at least it felt a little bit more balanced. And of course, even some PT boats were unbalanced because you had the S boats with the fantastic guns coming up against some of the Japanese boats, which had pretty much just a Browning on board, and then one torpedo and maybe a depth charge. You know, it just makes little sense. The depth charge thing as well, I got to admit, still makes little sense to me. I think they would be better off using mines, allowing for mine laying. Now, you could have the mines last for a set time limit, you know, so a mine could sit in the water for, say, 2 minutes. A bit like an artillery strike, but you put the mines, say you lay a strip of mines across a river opening. Now, you have it so your friendlies can see it, but the enemy can't until they get very close. So they have got a chance of dodging it. You wouldn't even really need to put a marker on it, because of course you would be able to see a mine if it was a sort of just below the surface, not a deep water mine, of course, a low surface mine. It would be visible with the naked eye, and if you were paying attention you would see it, but it would be a better advantage for, say, a PT boat to drop a few mines across a river opening and allow a destroyer to just charge into that. You can actually block off certain areas, than having the depth charges, which in my mind are just useless. You know, you can get kills with them, of course, but it makes no sense to be using them in this environment. A depth charge was used to take out submarines. It wasn't used in combat in this regard. Now, on the other hand, a depth charge makes more sense for a plane, because the planes could drop the depth charges and that would cause more damage than bombs, apparently, because the bombs are a bit broken in this game. When they hit the water, they do very little damage, even though, like a depth charge, they should cause more damage in the water. So yeah, I don't know. It's getting better, but it still needs improvement. Okay, guys, well, that's the end of this weekend's testing. So I will catch you for the next test on more naval beta roundups. See you then. Screw you out. Bye-bye.